everybody, what's up? It's Tipping the Scales. Have you missed us?
It's Tania and Shay. What's up?
What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well.
I know it's been so long. It's insane.
It has. But life be lifing, and one step and one foot in front of the other.
I know. So much to do. But
Yep.
how exciting it is when we do get back. We feel like it's exciting, but yet it just feels like this is where we were meant to be this entire time.
I know. Sorry, I'm trying to get
Right?
my lighting together. So if you're listening, don't worry.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get my lighting together for the YouTube folks.
Hey, lighting. I know. I feel like the lighting is good on my end today. It's because it's so dark outside that the light just seems more bright in the inside, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what's new? Oh, so you'll be so happy to know that next year I'm going to be speaking at the Essence Festival. So I'm really
What?
excited.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
hope I get to go again with you.
I know. I was like, oh, I'm so excited when it was
Go
asking me
T,
about
go
it.
T, go T,
I
go T.
know. I'm so pumped. So
That's my
yeah,
girl.
I'm so excited about it already. It's like I'm gonna be counting down, like countdown.
Okay, well, I'm coming regardless, and we're gonna eat because
Uh-huh.
I didn't get to do all the things I wanted to do when I was there
Oh,
this year.
is the food like really good? Like decent?
In New Orleans? Oh my God.
Oh, listen. I need to I have to remind myself where it's at because
Yeah.
the last time I went to New Orleans,
New Orleans?
I legit was there for like a week. I gained 10 pounds.
Oh, yes.
I
Gladly.
came back. I came home. I got on the scale. I was like,
We were
"What?"
together. We went to Final Four. We're
Yeah,
tripping.
gaining weight together.
Yeah, it was
Eating
great.
and drinking. That's what it is. The calories from the sugar from the alcohol, and everything's fried oysters.
Her ass thinking about all this. I don't even get how many calories get in my belly.
You out of control. I do care. I was like, oh my God, I need to be more careful when I go to New Orleans.
No, you're careful before you go to New Orleans, okay? So that you can eat in New Orleans because you ain't going back there. Like you only go like every once in a blue moon.
Yeah, but I didn't have to have all that stuff, all those drinks.
You weren't even
all
there
those
that
calories.
long.
Whatever it was, I managed to gain 10 pounds. I got back. I put my jeans on. I was like, ooh, they don't button right. And then
Aw.
after I realized they didn't button right, I went to go check. Like, well, what's up? Like, Tania, like, where you? How you living, sweetie?
Yeah.
And yeah, I gained 10 pounds. I was like, damn, need to be careful. Be more careful.
All right.
Um,
Fine.
So listen, I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like people in general, like when you talk about be lifing, you always, that's like your little saying, be lifing.
Life
I
be
feel like
life.
when life be lifing, I feel like though people are playing not to lose opposed to playing to win. Right.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about putting
I like that.
life into perspective that we must have a winning mindset in every single thing we do and not look at like, I don't want to lose because
Okay.
not wanting to lose and wanting to win are two totally different concepts. And I asked you, Tippers, and I asked you, Shay,
Mhm.
are you lifing not to lose, or are you trying to win across the board in all aspects of your life?
I'm definitely lifing to win.
Okay.
I'm definitely lifing to win. I definitely can say that concept is very familiar as a basketball player. Like
Yeah.
when you play not to lose, you essentially most of the time
You're
lose
giving
because
up. You're already,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
basically counterproductive to what you're trying to do. Like you're not free.
Yeah.
You're kind of like constrained and constricted because
Like almost
you're
conceding before you even
yeah,
play the damn
you're
game.
exactly. Your
Yeah.
fear like takes over and doesn't allow you to be free and like agile and go with the flow. And so I'll say like I'm actually in that place in my life where, you know, I'm not afraid to lose. I'm not afraid to lose, but I'm definitely playing to win. And if I do lose, I don't count it as a loss. I count it as a lesson. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And listen, when you're playing to win, expect to lose because you're going to have losses. To be like, life is not a thing that's going to be,
That.
right? It's not going to be like, you're not going to be undefeated in every
That.
aspect. Like, You're playing to win, you will lose. There's some risk associated with winning.
You need to lose in
Yeah.
order
So
to learn those things,
for
correct?
sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And it made me think about, I was thinking about like, okay, we need to have this winning mindset. It made me think about like, think about the work that you do, like people who are like not like the hiking I do, and we're like walking up hills, and that's fun, that's cute. But those who are like on belay, like climbing mountains, like rocky mountains, and think about like,
In the
of
snow.
course, in the snow, and and think about sometimes you think, because I kind of look, I'm huge on analogies and making these comparisons, and it made me think about like, let's say you were climbing this crazy mountain and you're hooked up and you're going and it's hard as hell and it's taking you a very long time and you're slipping and you're sliding and you're perspiring and you feel exhausted because you're putting in so much work to get to the top. And then you finally get to the top and you slip and you slide all the way back down. What do you do? How do you respond? Do you like, look, I tried. I'm done. Like I
Mm,
gave it all the effort I can possibly have. I
mhm.
gave it everything. And then now I'm kind of like done. Like I have nothing left in me. Or do you say, I did it before, I can do it again. And it maybe have taken me a very long time, but perhaps I have this recall moment that'll help me get there a little bit faster. And do you do the work all over again? Or do you quit because you've already conceded because you're like, I can't handle it. It's just too much for me. Like how do you do that?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
deep. That's good. Takes me to a lot of places.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would say the climbing back up and retraining yourself, it takes practice.
Yeah.
So the first
Real
time you might
practice.
hit the ground and stay there for a little while.
Hmm.
And then it's the mindset, like you said. Um, it's the mindset and that allows you to say, okay, I've been here long enough.
Hmm.
Like crying isn't gonna do cry. I can't cry over spilled milk.
Yeah.
I gotta get my ass back up and I gotta try again
Brush
because
yourself off.
I'm I'm living, whether I choose to live or do I choose to die. What am I on
Hmm.
this earth for? I'm here for something. So
Yeah.
regardless if I've fallen down, I've got things to do and I'm here for a reason. And so I've been there before too, where I've worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. Thought I was going to grad school, 15-page paper, do big grade on the line,
Yeah.
and computer crashes.
Mm.
Cried my eyes out.
Pissed. That hurt.
Pissed.
Hurt.
I'm embarrassed. I'm I'm
Now
I'm
with the cloud,
defeated.
it makes life better for us. Like, thank you, cloud.
Right? I'm defeated. I dropped out of grad school. I owed
Yeah.
money. I ended
Yeah.
up paying the money back, but that was the stinger that was like, it was
Yeah.
good that it happened because now I know how to do it. Now I know that I'm going to do it differently the next time, but I'm not going to
Mhm.
quit next time. I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going.
That's
But I
right.
needed to learn that lesson. I needed to pay that money back, and I didn't even finish. I didn't even get a degree, Um, but I learned a lot from that. And so I think you got to practice, and talk to yourself. And I think that's something that I've experienced before. And now it's kind of familiar, the fall. It's like, fuck, I've
Yeah.
fallen. I can get up. I will get up. It might take me a
I
little longer.
must get up.
I'm going to do things a little bit differently than I did the last time,
That's right.
but I'm going to still go. I'm going to take a different route.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think but again, it's because you locked in with that winning mindset. You're
Yeah.
like, at all costs, I'm going to win. And
And always
although,
remember that you're on this earth for something more. You wouldn't be
yeah,
here if it wasn't
greater
something
purpose.
greater for you to do. Yeah.
That's right. Amen,
Yeah.
sister. You feel like you're a little preachy tonight. Excuse
I
me.
mean, you taking me there.
All right.
Pastor, shoot.
But so speaking of a pastor, I got some really good feedback as shout out to, he's a tipper too, Martin. So shout out to Martin,
Hey, Martin.
who is a pastor. And he sent me this message and it's great because I had already was thinking about this kind of like mountain kind of analogy, like having this winning mindset.
Yeah.
And it fell right into it. So a friend of mine, Ken, him and his wife are awesome. Ken and Kia. I felt like they're like a power couple. I
I
went
like
to
those names,
the
Ken and
birthday
Kia.
party. It was sweet, but Ken was like, "Are you playing to win?" You know, like that's what he will ask you from time to time. Like, "Are you playing to win?" Like when you're going through tough times, relationships ain't going working out for you. Are you playing to win? And it's funny
Oh.
because when it's almost when things are being reinforced
Mhm.
and one party don't even know that this other party is having this conversation with you, and you kind of know like, okay, this message was for me.
Yeah.
But Martin sent me this and it made me think about this whole analogy of climbing that mountain. He said that people fall into one of the three categories. One, they're just straight up quitters. So they quit when they face adversity, when they face adverse situations in their life, and they always have excuses, never stop making excuses. So those are quitters.
Damn.
Then you have dwellers who they overcome some type of adversity, but they seek nothing greater in life. They're basically just waiting to die. Like, I'm here, I'm waiting, I'm dwelling. And then you have people like me and my girl Shay. We're climbers,
Oh,
right? We're climbers. So you're either quitter, dweller, or a climber. And a climber are those that love the challenge of taking on new feats and love overcoming all obstacles and opportunities to grind to become better in every aspect of their life. And they are thrilled about life and what it has to offer. So they're just seeking more. They're not settling for, just for being like kind of like average. They're like, I want what's best and I'm not going to stop till I get there. Those are climbers. So, I asked you, like, when you're asking yourself that question, like, are you playing to lose? Are you playing to win? The better question is, are you a quitter, a dweller, or a climber? Are you climbing, baby? What are you doing?
wow, T. Um, Now I have to ask too. You come up with these really great topics with really like deep messages and really like you know how to bring it together. So like what brought this on and like what was the mindset? Where were you when you thought about this topic?
Yeah.
And just
I
take
th-
us into the mind of T and because you get really intertwined with your messaging and I just love it.
Thank you. I think where I was at was like relationship wise and kind of like feeling just a level of uncertainty
Mhm.
around that aspect of my personal life. And Ken talked about winning and losing, like basically winning.
Putting in
And it made,
perspective for you.
yeah, put
Mhm.
it into perspective. And it made me think about not just personal relationships, but all the things that I had to overcome within my life, right? And then me facing some health concerns and, I have another surgery upcoming and I don't, it's just a lot.
Mhm.
And I've never had to face like health issues. I never had to have surgery, never had to been under anesthesia. So those things bring a certain level of anxiety in my life. And
Mhm.
although Ken's message was more so about relationships, mine
You
it
applied
helped
it.
me just kind of like take a holistic look at my
Mhm.
life in general and said, okay, Tania, like you can choose to just quit and say, F it. I'm not gonna do anything about it. And that's just not who you are. You could choose to just dwell on it and not do anything and maybe just try to face it, but just like like Martin said, just wait to die. Or you could climb, T. Like, what is it that you want to do? Like, if you say that you want to win, then you have to do that in everything that you do. You don't pick and choose. Jess Sims, who I love, I'm like obsessed with her. She
Yeah.
is one of the Peloton instructors. Like, I'm like low key, like, got a little girl crush on her because her body's like insane and she's super cute. And I had a chance to meet her one time when Mikkel and I did the class at Peloton
Yeah, I
together.
remember, yeah, the
And
little branded
I was
content.
just like looking at her, I was hugging her, I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. Mikkel's looking at me like, stop fangirling, mom. But she says this thing to me. She says this thing in her classes when you take them, take a lot of her strength classes. And she says, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Let me say that again. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're going to fight to win, then you don't just settle down when life brings you adversity because it will happen, whether it be in your health, relationships, work, children. Life was going to bring adversity. It's just
Mhm.
going to happen. But how do you respond to that? How are you responding to the adversity that you have in your life?
Mhm.
Are you going to climb? You going to quit or dwell? Like, how are you responding?
Mhm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and and when I hear that, I'm similar to you in just terms of like there's always so much going on.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
we talk about health on this podcast a lot too and getting your checks and doing all that stuff. And
Mhm.
so having that looming over you, I can understand how the personal aspect slash business and then the health aspect can really like get you out of sorts to where you're questioning
Mhm.
things, like you said, that
Yeah.
anxiety.
That
And
anxiety is
so,
real. And
yeah.
I feel like it could be debilitating too. Like the more that I kind of like looked at my situation, is the more the anxiety was starting to be so intense and it
Yeah.
would like take over.
Mhm.
And I would start to just stay there and get stuck,
Mhm.
and I had to
You get caught
remember.
in a loop,
Yeah,
right?
and then
Thinking
yeah,
thinking the
100%
worst.
caught in a
Yep.
loop.
Yep.
And I had to remember, like, where my motivation comes from, right? Like, I think that's a good question to ask yourself when you start to feel like life is so hard that you feel stuck, or life is so hard that you feel like you can't overcome. You need to pause for a moment and
Yeah.
ask yourself, like, what is it that motivates you? Where do you get your strength? Where do you get your power? And remember that and connect it with what you're feeling right now.
Mhm.
So for me, it was like, okay, I have to lock into my faith because that's where I get my strength. That's where I get my power and a sense um, of kind of renewal that I had to lock in and remember that my faith is bigger than my circumstances.
Yeah, and you have to remember too, T, that your mind is very powerful. So if you think too many things, the body is responding to those things. Like, your
Yes.
body is releasing chemicals. So
Yeah.
again, staying locked into your faith, staying around people that love you, staying very heightened and very high vibrational frequencies is going to allow you
Hmm.
to
Like that.
remain positive, to stay positive so that your body can fight those things. Because if you get caught in that loop, your body is sensing that it's time to die or it's time to
Yeah.
give up or it's time to relax. It's
You
time
gotta
to
tell your
do these
body, like,
things.
no, boo, we got a lot
So
more work to
you
be
got to
done.
keep going. You got to keep, staying positive. You got to keep staying around people that fill you up. Like you got to stay plugged into the light. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so I
Yeah.
constantly have to do that too.
Plugged into the
You have
light.
to
I
stay
like
plugged in.
that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
otherwise you start to drain, the light goes out of your eyes, you stop being the positive person that you are and everything is like a ripple effect. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
it's like it's those things that contribute to the deterioration of people's health when they get the information. Cuz I always ask,
That mindset. The
how
mind is
come
strong.
how come people can live with disease or with illness or with ailments? And then when they go to the doctor, once they get a diagnosis or they get that thing, it starts to go downhill from there because people are like, well, I should not go to the doctor. And it's one of those things where, like you said, if your winning mindset is not there and you start to spiral with whatever, and you start to connect who you are and what you're doing with that, whatever the doctor has told you, then that's when you have some issues. And so, and I'm telling this to myself too. I need to go to the doctor. I need to get my checks and all that kind of stuff too. But it's the same thing when you see like older people still working, still walking, still
Mhm.
doing those things. And people are like, you're retired. You should be.
Right?
No, no, no. You
Nah,
got to stay plugged into the light.
for sure. It's that winning
This,
mindset that they have. Like,
yeah.
they
You
wanna
can't, you
win.
can't
They
stay in the
wanna
house.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to live.
They wanna
No
live.
matter how
Yeah.
old they get, they want to live.
Yeah. And that's what we have to give true thought to, is like really think it through and understand that, put your life into real perspective, is that, are you willing to walk through the mud?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to just be a smooth walk and it's easy. You don't really have to put in that grit. Then there's going to be times where it's like you're walking through the trenches and you're
And you're
like,
going to get mud in your boots
every time
and
you
it's going to get
step,
heavy.
yeah, it's like quicksand. And it's like, it's feeling like you got to like
Hmm.
trudge and
Yep.
walk heavy. And it feels like life is actually pulling you down, but you got
Mhm.
to fight the resistance. Like you
Yeah.
got to resist that to say, no, you don't. I'm stronger than you, circumstance. I'm stronger than you, health problem. I'm stronger than you, depression. I'm stronger than you fill in the blank. And you got to make sure that your mind tackles and be ready to rumble and
Especially
win.
when you're the source of other people's light.
Oh yeah.
So not only for yourself,
But for
but
others. Yeah.
your health, your happiness, your everything is connected to other people. And I know that about myself too. And that's why sometimes it gets real heavy because you're like,
Mhm.
I'm not able to be that light that I normally am. And that
Yeah.
also is a drain mentally when
Yeah.
you're like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it gets and you worry too, like,
Yeah.
especially those of us who, were parents. As a parent, you're like, "Oh, what if?" And you're always thinking about, um, you wanna be here for your kids and
Yep.
be, you know, and live a long life, but you gotta take care of yourself in order for you to do that.
Mhm.
And that's just not your physical health. And, Shay and I talked about before about the importance of getting the preventative health. So you're not going when there's a problem, but you're checking in advance. And that's what helped me that things aren't crazy because I just stay on top of my health and address things in real time. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And some people don't do that. They take things for granted. Or,
I've been there.
also too, like, don't get lost in the hustle and bustle of life that you're not even giving yourself that you're putting yourself at a disadvantage to win. Like, give yourself ever opportunity to win.
Yeah.
Don't cause more havoc
Mhm.
in your life by, you know, it's kind of like the analogy of you're going for a race and the pistol goes off and it pow, you start running and you're told to wait 3 minutes
Right.
and let everybody
Why?
else go, right? Like, why would you want to give yourself that unfair advantage when you can kick off with everyone else if you just do the right things? And I know it's easier said than done, but I just think that we are sometimes stuck either contemplating or just like, oh, I'll do that later. I could just like just putting it off and being and procrastinating. We all
And
do it.
being stubborn.
Oh,
Being stubborn.
stubborn is good. Yeah.
Stubborn, you know?
Hmm.
Just hard-headed, just yeah, all those things. I'm with you.
And I think too, it's like, Shay, you're always so good about talking about having a tribe and having those around you to support you. And I forgot, I was reading something, I think, on Instagram. Can't remember, but it was saying, like, if you want to be healthy, don't hang out with all your unhealthy friends because you could guarantee if they're gaining weight, so will you. It's like situate yourself with folks who are like minded, who want to go to the gym, want to eat healthy. You don't have a friend.
Yeah,
Well, no, I won't.
just like I tell my stepdaughter, you only need one. I know I
Yeah.
talk about a tribe, but a tribe could be a tribe of one, okay? And I
Yeah.
told her, I
Uh
said,
huh.
quality over quantity because she's
Okay.
getting older and she's in that comparison stage and looking at this and looking at that and I'm like, "Look, in this
Mhm.
house, you only need one friend. One.
That's right.
First, yourself, but you can't talk to yourself. Once you start doing that, I gotta worry about you. And two, just one quality friend, um, who's not gonna judge you. And I just told her, like, yeah, that
Yeah.
tribe is gonna give you what you need to get through school because it's not gonna be
Yeah.
easy, you
Yep.
know?
And that tribe that you have, you're right. It doesn't have to be a lot of people.
Mm.
Sometimes less is more,
Mhm.
right? And you got to have the right people in your life. But I say that to preface that hopefully the people that you have in your life are those who want to win too, right?
Oh, yes.
You can't be hanging around a bunch of losers.
Right.
Not losers, not like in a smallest sense of like, oh, they're like when you get clowned and like loser,
Let's
like that.
spend
Not
2 minutes on a loser. Like,
yeah, yeah.
what do you consider a loser?
I think people who have no ambition, people who are not goal oriented, people who are quitters, those who just quit when the going gets tough, those who are excuse makers for every single thing. There's an excuse like, I would have done that by this. Oh, I would have done that by this. Oh, this is like, it's like, don't be a don't have, it's not like I'm calling you a loser. I'm saying that you
It's
have
a
a losing
losing mindset.
mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
mentality.
losing mindset, a losing mentality because you've already quit before you even begun. Like
Yeah.
you've already conceded before you played the game. It's like even we talk about Shay and I love sports and we were connected through basketball. That's how we met. And when we think about the game of basketball, most of it is mental. Like, of course, you got to have the physicality to play. Like I can't go pick up a ball. Like, let's go, Mikhail. He's like, yeah, okay, lady, I will hurt you again.
For the eighth time.
He's like, you right on my mountain. You can take all your little beach body boot camps, boo. It ain't gonna help you. Um, but you are losing at life when you don't give yourself the opportunity to win. You don't give yourself opportunity because just because you lose at something doesn't make you a loser. Like you said, like losing is part of your journey,
Mhm.
right? Like losing is part of it's like it's you heard the saying too, saying it's the setbacks that is going to set you up for your best comeback. So
Yeah.
you're going to lose. I'm not saying because you lose a game, like you're a loser, like they used to do in school with a little L on your forehead, like loser, loser, loser. Like, nah, but you are a loser if just you keep quitting at everything that comes your way. You
Yeah.
are a loser if you're not willing to face adversity. You are a loser if you're not going to be willing to challenge yourself and not just be status quo. You're
Yeah.
losing because you're
Yeah.
not giving yourself the opportunity to win.
Yeah, basically, if you're not willing to fight, if
Hmm.
you're not willing to put in the extra work to see what's on the other side,
Yeah.
giving
Yep.
up too early, right? Or even sabotaging other people so that you can get ahead. Like that's loser mentality, that's loser behavior. I totally agree.
And it's tough because you'll see it happens. You'll see people around you. And I'm always inclined to be like, sometimes I gotta pull myself back because it was like, mind your
You want to
business.
say, yeah, I know. I'm about to say I'm the
I
same way.
just
Like,
want to
shut
like
up, Shay.
help
It ain't your
or just
damn business.
right or just jump in and be like and
Hey,
do more. And I had to remind myself that you can only do so much. And it's like anything else in life. People have to want it. You can only want so much for other people. People have to want to be different and want change to happen.
yeah.
And that to me is where you've already, again, you don't even give yourself the opportunity to do more when you can.
Mhm.
Just think about if you really made the effort, where would you be?
Mhm.
If you really pushed yourself beyond your limits, where would you be?
Mhm.
If you really worked hard to climb and get a little dirty and fall on the ground and get some scrapes and some little scratches. I felt bad. My niece, I was cleaning her leg yesterday. Auntie, and she's two. She'll say my name like 10 times in a row. Auntie, 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 auntie. I'm like, royalty, I can't, you're killing me. And she's like, so I went to get a Band-Aid to put on her leg. And I thought that, how you get the little first aid kits? And it was like an old abrasion. So it was like super old, but she wanted the Band-Aid. She wanted to show me that she
Yeah.
had it. And I accidentally put hand sanitizer on her little scrape. She's like, it stings. I was like, oh shit.
Oh my gosh. Ow. Auntie, auntie.
Auntie, what the
Auntie
hell?
going to hell.
Auntie, what the hell are you doing, Auntie? I felt so bad because I saw her little face. She's like, it stings. It stings. So I like ran her into the kitchen because
Get some
I looked at
water.
the pack. I was like, what the hell? I was like, well, Neosporin is not supposed to sting because it was like in a pack like Neosporin. Like, who the hell puts hand sanitizer in a
In
pack
that,
like that?
yeah.
But read your stuff, T, before you start giving it to kids. Lesson learned. Forgive
Oh,
me. My, and
oh
my
my
brother looked at me
God.
like, what are you doing? So anyway, finish the story. I ran her into the kitchen, put her little knee under the sink so the cold water could cool it off. So I was like, feel better now, right? It's good. She's like, we're good. We're good.
Oh, auntie.
I don't even know where I was going with that story, but it just made me think about my niece. I'm sorry, Royalty. Please forgive Auntie. She didn't mean to put hand sanitizer on your knee.
It's okay. She won't remember.
But do you think,
you never know, actually.
but
Kids
you
remember the
make
weirdest things.
mistakes. Is
Yeah.
Royalty okay? Yes. Am I still going to show up and be a really good? Does this make me a bad auntie? No. Auntie didn't make the best decision there. But I still am a bomb ass aunt. She still called me this morning and was like, come home. I want you. She said, come home. I want you, auntie. I want you. And I'm
I
like,
love
oh.
that.
But it just goes to show that, yes, you may not get it right the first time, but people are not going to stop loving you. You shouldn't stop loving yourself either. Like, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to make some not so great decisions, but don't let it weigh you down.
Don't dwell.
Brush it off.
Don't dwell.
And the favorite, in the words of Aaliyah, is first you don't succeed. What you got to do?
Dust yourself off and try again.
You should run and try again.
Again. Get to me. Then get to say, would you wait to have your way? Would you give up or try again?
Yeah.
If I hesitate to let you
in. Bye, guys. Please
Bye.
remember to continue to follow Tipping the Scales wherever you get your podcasts. Peace.
And y'all been in them comments. Okay, I'll see y'all little haters in there too. All right.
Haters gonna hate. Bye, haters. We love you too. Bye.